Welcome students. In this new lecture we will discuss about flow around a sphere. So you know very well that in chemical engineering many times you will see these kind of situations in which suppose for example you have these catalyst. These are actually solid catalyst particles, or it can be some filter media through which you are filtering something. So many times you will come across these systems in chemical engineering, and a gas or a liquid may be flowing like this, and all the way it will go like this, and here it will go like this. So it becomes logical to study these kind of flow in which there is a solid and around which some fluid is flowing. To begin with, we can start taking a very simple object and very simple conditions. So that is as you can understand, a very simple object like sphere, and you can have the fluid flowing like this, some liquid or gas. So it will come like this, and it will then change direction, and then it will go like this way, you can see. So these kind of flows we will study here, but before going into that discussion, it is very necessary that we understand spherical coordinate system, that is called spherical coordinates. Spherical coordinate system. So what is this system? Actually here you can see that I have drawn a rectilinear coordinate system x, y, z, and now suppose you have to show some point P in the 3D space here. So in rectilinear system, what you do, that you just go in x direction. You can do it this way, that you first project it here on the xy plane, and then take this distance, take this distance, so this is x and y, and take this distance, this is called xyz. But what we do for that spherical coordinate system, here we take this distance, I mean to say this distance is called r. So whatever distance is taken in outward like this, it is called r. Actually one of the dimension of this system is r dimension, and this distance is suppose r from here to here. And after then what we do, that we measure this angle with the z axis. You can understand my point, that after then we measure this distance, this angle here, rather this is theta. We start from here, and this is the positive direction for this. So there are two informations we have gathered about this, r, theta, and one more is remaining. For that, what we do, that we will have a projection here on the xy plane, then you connect this line, and now we will measure this angle. This is called phi angle. So now we have gathered three informations, and these three data are sufficient to denote any point in the 3D space. Now for example, I say that we have to represent a point P in the 3D space using spherical coordinates with data 5 and 30 degree and 45 degree. So this is r, theta, and phi. So for this what you will do, first you take this distance. So where will these points be located? These points will be located on a sphere with radius r. So this point can be here at a distance 5 from here. Means at this time it is not fixed, actually it can be any point here. This can be here also with 5 distance here. So now we will decide at what angle we have to take. This is the theta, 30 degrees. So take this angle at 30 degrees centigrade, 30 degree, 30 degree, and this is your distance 5. So it will represent what? It will represent a circle like this. So your point can be anywhere here, here, it can be anywhere, but it will be contained on this circle. Now we have to fix that point with this 45 degree angle. So where is this angle? We will have projection of this point here. So whatever projection is at 45 degree, we will select that point. So it is our point. Means on this angle there on this circle there can be so many points, but if you will take the projection of this point, you will come here, so its angle will be this angle. So it is not 45 degree, and it can be here also, and its projection is this, but its angle is this much. We have to select only that point that is having this 45 degree angle. So this way we can fix point, and it is called 5, 30 degree and 45 degree. So you can understand my point very well, that first take r, then theta, and then phi. So r, theta, phi is the system in this, is the data for this spherical coordinate system. So here you can see that I have taken that sphere that we will study. Its radius is r, and you can see that the 0 of the coordinate system is at the center of the sphere, and these are the rectilinear coordinate system, and based upon this we will use the spherical coordinate, that is any point will be represented by 3 r, theta, phi data. And actually what we are discussing here, it is a very simple kind of flow. The flow around this sphere that we assume will be very slow flow, and this flow is actually called very slow flow. Actually it is very slow. We will study a very slow flow, very slow, small velocity of the fluid we will assume. Otherwise things becomes very complicated, and this flow is also called creeping flow. Or you can call this also Stokes flow. So for this this flow we will study our problem. And the fluid that we assume here is incompressible fluid, that is a liquid like water. It is not a gas. So it is to be put in in mind that this discussion is not for gas but incompressible fluid. And the density of the fluid is rho, viscosity of the fluid is mu, and it is approaching the sphere from this direction here towards the means it is in the z direction, and this point is very far away from the sphere. So here sphere has got no influence. So here the velocity is v infinite, and this velocity is everywhere this way. It is not affected by the sphere, and this velocity is called velocity of approach. And now we can find here Reynolds number, RE or NRE we can write. You already know rho, velocity is this, and this diameter, or you can say that diameter of the sphere is d. So we can put all these things. Velocity will be put that is at very far away from the sphere. Now if we will calculate this Reynolds number, it should be less than 0.1. Then only we can say that it is a creeping flow or very slow flow, or it is also called Stokes flow. and in this flow what will happen, that the flow will be like this, that it will never be like this. It goes here and then leaves the sphere. So here it will create eddies if it is greater than 0.1. that will be the turbulent kind of thing. So it is not here in our scope to study this. So we are having only that flow that is very, very slow, that fluid comes like this, and with this sphere like this, it leaves like this without any disturbance. For example, very viscous fluid is flowing around this without having no disturbance. So these are the streamlines that will be there. So now we see that how many components of velocity will be there in this kind of problems. You can imagine that the fluid molecules will come like this, and they will go this way, and then they can go like this way, and they will come this way, and some which are going here, they will go this way. So you can see that this way. So you can say that this here, if you will study the velocity, then you will find that it will have components Vr and V theta. It will be changing with V theta angle, that is the angle that we discussed, and it will change with R because of this. R distance is from here to the outward, so here velocity 0 and here velocity something, and increase like this, and with theta also it will change, but it will not change with phi, because your flow is not like this. It will never be like this. Phi means your flow is having like this, rotating like this. So V phi component will not be there, only R component will be there and theta component will be there. So it is a two velocity component problem. Earlier to this problem we studied flow of liquid in form of film on a plate. In that we saw that there was only one component, Vz, and in that pipe flow problem we also saw that only one component was there. So those were only one component problems, and this is your two component problems. So one point to remember here, that this kind of problem cannot be analyzed with the help of tools that we studied up to now in this chapter, that is the cell momentum balance. We cannot apply this technique here. So we will not go into the details of that derivation, it is very complicated. Only the result of that derivation we will take here. So this is to remember in your point, that you don't have to derive any relation here, just you have to take the result, and these results are given in the form of a table in chapter number 4. There you can see, there you can find the section for flow around a sphere, and from a table you can select various information. So I will write that information here. So here you can see that I have written here the result. This is the velocity Vr at various points around the sphere, and V theta velocity, and V phi is will not exist, so it is 0. So you can see that here suppose for example you have to find out what is the velocity Vr at this point at the surface of the sphere, that is R is equal to capital R. So let's see what happens. We will put R is equal to capital R in this equation. So we will write it this way, R is equal to R. It means that we have fixed the velocity at R is equal to R. Now we will put R is equal to R there. So you can see the result, it is 0. At the surface you can imagine that the velocity Vr will be 0. And what about the velocity V theta? Again put in this equation, R is equal to R, what velocity you will get. So again you can find that the velocity is 0, V theta component is also 0. It means that there will be no velocity at the surface. So you can calculate or you can find the numerical value of various components of Vr and V theta at various points. For example, suppose you have to find the velocities at this point. So here you find what is R here. So r is this, that at what distance it is from here, and what is the angle theta, what is this angle theta. So suppose this is 60 degree and r is equal to about 0.2 r, it can be any value. So you put all these values here, you will get both the components of velocity. So this velocity can be, some component of Vr will come, and this component will V theta will come this way, Vr will come this way. So velocity will find that it is in this direction. So this way you can find the desired velocity. Now the next formula is for pressure difference. So this is the formula for pressure distribution, and here you can see that P naught is the pressure at Z is equal to 0, where no effect of sphere. So where is this point? It is the point on this plane, that is here Z is equal to 0. So on this plane here, far away from this sphere, the pressure of the liquid is P naught, not here, but the point that is far away from here. So this point, this is the pressure of the liquid P naught, and Z, here comes the Z distance, this Z distance, Z is again the distance this. Suppose your point is here, you want to calculate pressure here, so Z distance is this is the Z distance. And what else we need? Velocity of approach V infinite, r is the radius, and cos theta is the angle at which the point is, that is this angle, for example here 60 degree. So all these things if you will put, you can find the pressure here on the concerned point. So this is the pressure distribution formula. And the last formula is for shear stress. That is only important shear stress here is tau r theta. And what is this stress? As you can define from the language, that r is the component in the, so shear stress, this language I have discussed many times, that r means that the component, you will divide the component in two parts. Suppose you have to discuss the shear stress at this interface. So with this interface you will divide the liquid or the system in two parts, lesser r and greater r. Now you will say the thing this way, that this shear stress is the force in theta direction, or you can say that theta is in this direction, theta is coming from the z axis, as you can see. So this is the force in theta direction from the component of lesser r on the component of greater r. So it is a force in this direction on this interface, and it will be represented by this, and you can calculate its value by this formula, that's theta, just like this here, that you should know the r at what distance it is and what is the theta for that point. So you can find the shear stress tau r theta here. So only these formula you need to know, means you don't have to remember this formula, you just see that how complicated it is, and you should know how to use this formula, because we will use this formula to derive some very simple results. So you will see in the next lecture. So this lecture I end here, and a little complicated it is, but try to understand it and take help from your book. It has been discussed in your book, so read from there also. So for the time, thank you very much.